Hello, welcome viewers and greetings to you all. And this video is about creation of an Android app. Creating Android app or a mobile phone application had always been an obsession for few of us. And it used to be a Herculean task and a very difficult task, but now, thanks to MIT App Inventor 2, which is Google powered by Google as well, and you can just go and log in with your Google username and password, and it'll allow you to, this is AI2 App Inventor MIT EDU, and it'll ask you to put in your credentials, and it will allow you to go and create a mobile phone app. Now, there are two aspects of creating your mobile phone app. And those two aspects are, one is the designer section where you actually go and design the app interface. And the second one would be the blocks that you go and put in, the actual logic, what happens inside your app. So I'm just going to give you a very brief introduction for the MIT App Inventor, this interface itself. But primarily the most important parts of I'm going to touch base on the most important parts of the interface. So the first one is as you look at this, as you look at the screen, is the user interface. So like a very normal user interface where you can have your buttons and the checkboxes, and most importantly, the image, the label, and other features of a user interface that would be very useful. And if you do not know some of these features, say for example, when you go click on this question mark, it tells you button with the ability to detect clicks. Many aspects of its appearance can be changed, as well as whether it is clickable. Enabled can be changed in the designer or the block editor. So this is what you could go, and designer editor is here. And also you can set the properties to the right. Okay, so that is about the user interface. You can go and change the layout. You can create a horizontal arrangement. You can create a horizontal scrollable arrangement, a table arrangement, and again you can go and set a layout to your app here. You can include media information. You can use camcorder, like you can, if you want to make a camera app, you can use the camera here, and you can embed the sounds. You can even actually record the sound from the mobile phone mobile's microphone. You can go put in drawing and animation. We will be using a bit of these features today, like the canvas we will be certainly using. And if you want to go into the most advanced, again, you can go into the map section, like you can have a simple map over here, and a simple GPS information it can also go and track where your phone is, and you can use the sensors. I'm not going to go into these features, okay? The social networking and information here, how you go about sharing, all of that. You can even go and program your robots with it. So this is really very powerful. Although it has it's got the blocks, and it's got the programming features, such as like the blocks that you can actually drag and drop. See all of these blocks here. This is quite powerful. And if you want to go and create a proper app in MIT App Inventor 2, you should be able to easily do it. You should be able to do it easily. So our focus of this tutorial will remain to go and simply create one simple app with 5 pages, say page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. When you go and click onto any of those pages, information on that page would be shown here, and that could be scrolled and it could be deployed onto the computer. One of the best ever features of MIT App Inventor is, after you build it, your app would be transferred to your mobile phone straight away by just go and get the QR code, And once you scan the QR code through your mobile phone, on your mobile phone, you have to enable the third-party installation. So if you're able to do that, the app that you have designed in MIT App Inventor would straight away go and get deployed onto your phone, and then you could be testing it. But what if you wanted to go and test it while you're designing it? Is it possible? Absolutely possible. So if you want to do that, what you need to do is you would have to go into the Connect section, Connect tab here, and then you have to say AI Companion. This, you will have to go and download this AI Companion from the Play Store on your Android phone. So when you have actually downloaded it, your computer and your mobile phone should have to be both on one network, which is your home network, apparently. And it has to remain on, both of them need to be on one single network. And when you go and connect it via AI Companion, you should be able to see the changes that you're making in your app should be visible on your phone itself. So these are the basic things that I went and covered now that relates to App Inventor. I'll just go and recap on what I spoke just then. First thing is MIT App Inventor is powered by Google, so you could go and put in your username and password, and it'll allow you to go and build your project. And this is the viewer window here. This is where you can go and change the interface. You can change from the designer to blocks, and your viewer will change to the blocks mode, or you can shift between designer and blocks modes. So if you go into your designer mode, you can go and use the features from the palette here, the user interface, the layout, the media, and all of the other features that are available here. And the components are shown onto the right, what components are being used, and the properties set for each of the components are shown to the right. The next thing that I have shown you is when you go into the blocks section, so the components that are shown in your designer mode, say the components that are here, are also shown in the blocks mode. So if you go click on the button, and you can go for the button one, what kind of code blocks you would want to go and put in. So that's about the block viewer mode. So again, when I go to the designer mode and I got the components here, I can go and change the properties for each of those components. So that's what I was talking about. The final thing I went and spoke was about how you go and deploy your app, just by going and say when you have your computer and your mobile phone on the same network with something called as AI Companion, an app called as AI Companion installed on your mobile phone. You got to open the AI Companion and you got to go and scan the QR code, and your app will automatically download onto your computer. So when you go and download it onto your computer, what happens is, the app can get installed. When I set on the connect mode, AI Companion, the changes that you make to your app is visible when you're connected through the AI Companion, and you should be able to see the changes. I presume that not necessarily you have to be on the same network, even if your computer is on an independent network. Still, I'm thinking that it should be able to work for the reason that they are connected through Google. So it should be okay. So if you're on your home network on your computer, and if you're on a 3G or a 4G network on your phone, it should still be able to work. So, but for the safe reasons, you can always be on the same network when you're actually trying to design, so that you can actually see whatever you're trying to design in the designer mode, as I showed you here, is reflected on your computer, on your mobile phone screen. So a short while from now, we will start with actual designing of our app, and our app will have 5 different pages. I will start right from the beginning so that you would understand what happens in how you go about designing this. Obviously, you would be needing certain graphic elements for your app. So I got some images here for my app. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images as 5 pages for my app. And then I also have an icon design for my app. And as you see, the dimensions I've set is 72 pixels by 72 pixels. Right, we are now on the MIT App Inventor interface. So primarily, first we'll go into the projects menu, and that's where you can go and look at your My Projects. Let's get started with the new project, and let's say start a new project, and it's asking you for the project name. So all the assets, including the graphics and images and animations, whatever you create would be going and getting stored into this project folder. So let's give a simple name. I'm going to call this My Subject App, right? So I just said My Subject App, or if you're going to go create a math app or a science app or whatever the app you wanted to create, you just go and give your name there and then push OK. Now the project's created and it's up here saying My Subject App. As you see, it just went and loaded the window for us, and here you could see the viewer window. The components, as you see, is very simple. You can only see the screen there, and the screen properties are on the right, and the designer is selected, and you could go into the block section if you wanted. But first thing to do is we would want this app to be, as you look at that, by default it comes as unspecified, which means like you could go and change the direction and the orientation changes automatically on your phone. But in this case, we're going to go here, select, we wanted this to be in the landscape, our app to be in the landscape mode. So I just selected landscape mode. So it says here, this is your screen 1. You can go and give a meaningful name. So here I'm going to go and change the title. And if I didn't want my title to be visible, I can actually go and say the title. I can make the title invisible. So, but I'm going to go here and then give it fancy name, My Subject App, and you would see actually My Subject App is reflected here. Before I continue any further, I wanted to go and actually show something else. I would want to record what happens on my mobile phone as well. So I'm going to go and start MIT AI2 Companion on my phone, and it shows up with a window. I'm actually recording this on my phone as well, so you would be able to see this what happens on my computer, on the mobile phone, in another separate video as well. So here I go and click on Connect. So on the Connect tab, I got this AI Companion, and I go and select AI Companion, and it straight away gives me that unique QR code. So now I'm going to go and scan that unique QR code. Say on my phone, I'm scanning it now. Scan QR code, it just scanned it, and then once I've done it, ta-da, you see my app actually shows up on my phone. So whatever the changes that I keep making here is actually reflected on my phone straight away. So if I'm going to go here as an example, I'm going to change here the name of this, say simple app, and that actually is reflected on my phone straight away. So you don't need any other emulator. This is the best part of it. So when you're actually using the MIT App Inventor 2 along with the AI Companion, you can actually see whatever the edits that you're trying to make the designer section is actually simply reflected on your computer screen. This is phenomenal. So let's go again, and as I have given the name, I'm going to call it back my subject. My subject app, and that's the title of my screen. So on my screen, the first thing that I'm going to go is to go and create a horizontal arrangement. So I'll go drag this horizontal arrangement, and I put a horizontal arrangement here, which means I can go and place some user interfaces. And as I said previously, I'm going to be placing some buttons over there. So for my horizontal alignment or the arrangement, I'm going to say here, align horizontal to the left or to the center. I'm going to choose its center. And at the same time, where it says height automatic, I'm just going to leave it alone. And for the width, I'm going to go click on there, and then I'm going to say fill parent. So when I say fill parent and I push OK, the whole entire section is spread across the whole screen. So now I have my horizontal section actually placed in the screen. I'm going to go and put the text. I'm going to put the buttons there. So I'm going to say drag the first button there, and then my first button is actually put here. Now actually I could see that on my phone. So the text for button 1. So these are the properties for button 1. So you can set the height. I'm going to leave the height to automatic, width to automatic. You can even have an image for your button, which I'm not going to do at this stage. I'm going to leave whatever the properties they exit. I'm going to change the first one to page 1. So I've just changed the text to page 1, and it is aligned to the center. That's in the horizontal alignment. It's aligned to center, and you see I created my first button. All right, so let's go here, and now that's called as my page 1. Now I'm going to go create 4 more buttons next to it. Text for button 2, and I'm going to change that to page 2. Right. Then again, I'm going to say here page 3, and all of that can be shown on my is actually shown on my mobile phone screen as well. So that's something cool. Like whatever I'm trying to create, I'm able to look at it at the same time. So I'll go put this as button 4, which the text for the button 4 would remain would be page 4, and we are nearly there. The last page, which is my page 5, and I would say page 5. All right, so in my horizontal arrangement 1, I go button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4, and button 5, and they're called as page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5 are shown. The second thing that I wanted to go and do is now I wanted to show different pages. Each time a page is clicked, what happens, for which you actually should have some of your app assets. So I got my images created here. So I got my 5 pages created and 1 icon file created. So that's my icon file, which is of a dimension 72 by 72. And I got this 5 image files, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 image files, and that's my project file for the image. So these are the images that I'm going to upload to my app. So primarily, I'm going to here again go back to the layout. This time I wanted a vertical arrangement, but I wanted to be able to look at the whole entire page. So I should be able to scroll. So I'm going to take this vertical scroll arrangement, drag it and drop it again. So it's sitting down here in screen 1. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to leave the height alone, but I'm going to fill the width. Width would be fill the parent. So it will be spread across. Then, and my alignment, you could leave it left, or I'm going to make it center. So whatever I place here inside this vertical scroll arrangement will be in the middle. So I got that section there. Now, what can I go and put inside that particular arrangement? So I'm going to go drag and drop an image. So I'll drag and drop an image, and then you can go and set the properties for the image. Again, you would say height, just going to leave it default. The width certainly should go and fill the parent, and then it has no picture because we haven't even uploaded any picture. So I'm going to go here, upload a file, choose a file. I don't know if it's going to allow me to select all the files. That would really be very useful because I can go and then just select rather than uploading each of them. No, I don't think it's allowing me to select all of this. So I have to go and upload them individually. So I will say image 1. So I have uploaded, and then now I've selected it. When I push OK, it would go and sit here in my media section. So first media section is created. My file is sitting here. I'm going to go here and select image 2, open, push OK, and then upload another file, choose another file, image 3. This is I would say a disadvantage because you should be able to go and select all the files and upload it in one go. Would be really useful, but you can't ask for too much, could you? Because this is a free software where you can actually go and design your app. Just be happy with what we have. So that's image 5, push open, and then say OK. Now I'm going to go here, finally select one main file that is required. That is our icon file, push open, and then say OK. All right, cool. So we got everything that is required for the project. So I'm going to select now for this image here, I'll say image 1 is selected, and I would say OK. Now that should be reflected on my mobile phone screen. Let's see if that's reflected. Ta-da, it's there. So I can actually scroll. Wow. So it says this is the first page of the app. Include an introduction to this page on any topic you're going to share, such as literature, science, astronomy, geography, or cooking. Oh, wow. Cool. All right. So that's my page 1. And it's scrollable. But what I want to do is my vertical arrangement, I'm going to go and change the name of it. I don't like the name of that. So I'm going to go here, change the name as simply meaningful name. I'm going to call it page 1. So that's going to be page 1. And in page 1 is this. So as soon as you load the page 1, so look here in the property section, it is visible. Now I don't want it to be visible first. So you're going to go here and make it hide the visibility, and you can't even look at your page 1. So if you're going to go here, click on it, and you should be able to see your page 1. Wow. Okay, cool. So far so good. Now we need to go and create more pages. So in order to do that, I'm going to here have another layout, which is exactly going to be the same. So I'm going to go here, vertical scroll, arrangement, and then drag it and drop it there. And it has to go, not there. I'll just go delete that from there. Just say delete. We wanted it in our screen, actually. So it has to be on the screen. So I'll go here, vertical arrangement, and I'll put it there and sitting right on top. But I wanted it to be down the bottom. So to be able to do that again, I'll try to drag it and drop it. It's sitting here. Just delete it. For now, what I would simply do is I would go and simply make it invisible. Then I'll say vertical arrangement. I got it down. Then again, I'll have another vertical arrangement here, another vertical arrangement here, and another vertical arrangement here. Okay, cool. So that's page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. So let's go call this one here. Again, what we're going to do here is we're going to set the width to fill parent. push OK. Then I'm going to go here and rename it and call it page 2. Beautiful. So let's go here and we're going to go again, say the width, set the width to fill parent, push OK, and then change the name. There we go. And then call it page 3. Okay. And again, the width to fill parent, and then again rename it, call it page 4, push OK, and the last page here, set the width to, I'll hide that in page 2. I will drag now, I'll go to the user interface and drag an image and I'll put it in page 2. It's sitting here. It's meant to be sitting in page 2. Oops, I'll just delete that. So I'll just go delete that. Now I'll just make page 2 visible true. Now I'll drag this image and I will drop it in here and I will set the width to fill parent and I will leave the height alone. And for the image, I will go and choose the picture image 2 and I will push OK. There we go. That's your page 2. Remarkable. So that's page 2 is shown now. I will go and hide it now. I'll go back to page 3 here. Set the visibility true. I'll go to page 2 and visibility is removed. And it's page 3. I'll make it invisible. Now that's your page 3. I'll drag another image and drop there. And I will set the width to fill the parent. And I will say OK. Then again, it's asking me for the picture. See, that's my image 3. And I'm going to say OK. And that's my page 3. It's shown there. So I will go hide it now. And I'll go to page 4. So it's still not hidden. So actually we were setting the image to. Let's put the image back there. What we're trying is to hide is the page. Page 1 is invisible, page 2 is invisible, page 3 is invisible, but image 1 should be visible, image 2 should be visible, image 3 should be visible. Let's not get confused with the pages and images. So page 4, let's make the visible true. And let's drag the image and drop there. And the width should be filled to the parent. And then the image we wanted here is image 4, push OK. And that should be visible, but if page 4, let's go and change the visibility to false. The 5th page is, again, let's make it visible so that you can look at it. And I'll put the image here and then change the width to fill the parent, push OK. And now for the image, we'll say here, image 5, and then OK. So it should be visible here. Now, for the page itself, let's go and change the visibility to false. Now, what happens is we would want this. We created all the 5 pages. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. Under page 1, I'm going to make it visible now. We got image 1, but what else can you put? Under page 1, you can go and put all the user interfaces that are shown here. But for our convenience, for this example, I got only a few images that I created as pages. But you are welcome to go and include any of the user interfaces. You can also go and put in your media components there and whatever the components you wanted to put in. And you can also go and put a canvas, and if you want to create a game, you can use the image sprite, all of that. We're not going to go into that. We're only worried about the 5-page app. So you got the title, my subject app here, and page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. Our layout is perfectly done, but what we don't have here is the logic put. So we're done with the layout section for now. Now to make our logic work, so I'm going to go into the blocks section now, the first one. And for the first button here, when the button 1 is clicked, okay, when button 1 is clicked, what should be shown? We wanted page 1 to be shown. So let's go here, page 1. These are all the code blocks that you can use for page 1. You can change the height, you can change the height percent, you can change the vertical alignment, you can make the page visible or true or false. This is what we wanted. Now you can set an image to page 1. So but what we wanted here is set page 1 visible to, this is what we wanted. Set page 1 visible to, and let's go into the logic here. Set page 1 visible to, logic is true. So we wanted the page 1 to be visible. Now let's go here, duplicate this. So if page 1 is visible, we do not want the other pages to be visible. I'm duplicating all of those. So page 2 should be false. See how easy it is here to go encode. So page 3 visible to, false. Page 4 visible to, false. For some strange reason, showing up page 5 up here. That's okay. Page 5. Oh, that's because I got this as a capital P. Anyway, I'll just go here, false. So we got the coding done for button 1. So now we're going to say here button 2. When button 2 is clicked, brilliant. We'll just go here, duplicate all of these. Oh no, it's not able to do the whole entire. It should be able to do it. I'll just go right click on the top and should say duplicate. Or actually, I'll get rid of this one as well. I'll just go here, duplicate the whole entire block. See how it's showing up an error. So you can say here button 2 and set 0 warnings. So page 1.visible should be false and this should be true. So when you click on page 2 should be visible, the rest of the others should be false. That's simple, easily understandable. So let's go here, duplicate this. Don't worry about the error that shows up because we're going to change it to button 3 now. And that disappeared, and this should become again false. And page 3 visibility should be set to true. We're only 2 steps away for the completion of our app. Now let's go here and button 4, and this should be, page 3 should be set to false and page 4 should be set to true. And the final one, duplicate that and let's go put it here. And let's say here, when button 5 is clicked, all of the others should be false and only your page 5 should be true. Fantastic. So all of that coding, see, I just went and created one block here for one button and one set of code blocks that are required for button 1. See, these are all the code blocks that you can actually go and use. Yeah, touchdown and yeah, all of that. But I pretty much duplicated everything and that makes our life absolutely easy. Now I'm going to get out of the designer section. Right now, actually, I'm testing it on my phone and it works like a charm. And I can even go and scroll. So I'm going to record that app that I've created and I'm going to show that to you. And pretty much I'm done with my app and I'll go back to the designer section. So now that's my app. I got my first screen and I got a title for my screen which says my simple subject app or something. Is that what it says? Yep. Let's go here and say it says my subject app. You can call it chemistry app, math app, science app, whatever the subject you want to give a name, and you can give an appropriate page names as well. So I'm calling it page 1. You can give an introduction. You can talk about something else in your page 2. Probably you could go and say this is your second page and you can go talk about the topics. On the page 3 you could go and talk about some of the examples, provide the sample work on the topic chosen. On page 4 I could go and talk about say provide some sample illustrations and pictures and stuff. On page 4 you can give your contact details and your social networking information up there. So that's how you go and create a very simple app. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and build actual APK. But one thing we haven't done is when you're going to go and create the actual APK on your phone, MIT would automatically create an icon for you. But if you wanted a custom icon created by you, that's when you're going to go here and select a proper icon for your app. To be able to do that, let's say here it's on the screen, it should be down here. Look at that. That's your icon, and it says none. So it's going to create a default icon, but we already have an icon created. So I'll just go select the icon, push OK, and now it's going to reflect on my screen. And I'm going to say here, that's all done. I'm going to say push build app and provide QR code. So it's going to go now and show me the QR code. I'm going to go into MIT App Inventor AI2 Companion. And once I get into MIT App Inventor Companion, that is when I'm going to actually... Okay, now I am on my phone and I have got my App Inventor Companion, MI2 App Inventor Companion open. So in the companion, I can go and scan the QR code. When I say scan QR code, my camera opens up and see from my computer, it actually has scanned the QR code. And it's going to ask me a question. It's a third-party app. Do you want me to go and install it? You want to install an update to this existing application. Your existing data will be lost. Don't worry, because I kept installing it a few times now. I'm going to say install it now. So when I said install, it's going to install my app. So it takes a while before it goes and installs it. And once it installs it, so there we go. My subject app is installed. I'm going to say open. So when I said open, it says my subject app. Ta-da, here we go. So the page 1 opens perfectly and scrollable. That's page 1. And page 2, it says this is the second page of your app. In this page, you can present the topics of the chosen subject. I'll go to page 1. This is the first page of your app. See how I'm able to actually scroll up and down? So since I made it a scrollable vertical arrangement. Yeah, so this is the first page of your app. So if you're gonna go create an app for chemistry, let's say you will give some introduction to that, or maybe English or science, or say whatever the subject you want it to go. This is the first page of your app. Include an introduction to your app in this page on the subject area, such as whatever is shown there. And you're going to go here, page 2. That's your page 2. This is the second page of your app. You can present the topics of the chosen subject, provide information, text, pictures, graphs, and other topic related content here. Page 3 tells about page 3, and then you can go put the details, whatever you want to put in page 3, and you can navigate between pages. Page 4, I made all the pages available. See, the links to all the pages are available all the time. You can go page 3, page 2, page 5, and that's the 5th page. You may provide some hyperlinks to websites, YouTube videos, online text for reading, digital library, all of that. You may also include your email and social networking info for academic collaboration. So that's how you go and create a very simple Android app using MIT App Inventor. And you can actually here, I'm going to go back, and here you can actually see the icon for your app. Where is it sitting? So say down the bottom. See, there we go. Down the bottom you have their test app Inventor 2 app. It's called as, that's what I gave, that's the name that I gave for the icon. It says my subject app down the bottom, so you can go give whatever the name you want it. So that's how you do it. Best of luck with your app creation.